By the way, I've just looked at the final version of our complaint. Should they vote on this slaughter monstrosity on Sunday, and we will be ready to file suit within minutes of that vote. Congressman Paul Ryan, how are you, sir?
Hey, good morning, or good afternoon, excuse me. It's been a long day.
Well,
how are you doing?
It's a pleasure. It's a long day for the country, let me tell you.
Yeah.
And they are going to use this slaughter rule, aren't they?
That's what they're telling us. I mean, I'm on the floor right now. I just jumped in the cloakroom, and they're sure sounding like they're doing that. So it's slaughter on Saturday, passage on Sunday, lawsuit on Monday.
Now, actually, the lawsuit will be put in the 24-hour box at the court on Sunday. We're all ready for that. But anyway, Congressman, let me ask you something. These CBO numbers, I mean, I've looked through some of the things that you've said here. This is a complete crock. Will you hit the major issues on why this is a absolute budget buster and how they're using gimmicks here?
And I've got CBO, working on a letter for me to hopefully get tonight or tomorrow to just re-verify the facts. Number one, they're taking $522 billion out of Medicare, but not to go toward Medicare solvency to pay for this new government takeover of health care, this new entitlement. You can't count those dollars twice. They're claiming it twice. So we call that double counting. Either the $522 billion is going to Medicare, to its trust fund to make it more solvent, or to this new program. Not both. They're claiming both. And it's
all right. Let me slow you down. So it's clearly over $1 trillion just based on that alone.
What's that?
So it's clearly this $940 billion nonsense. They're hiding $500 billion.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't think we have enough time in the day for me to explain it all. They're taking 10 years of tax increases and Medicare cuts to pay for 6 years of spending. They're taking their Cadillac tax and just shoving that outside the window. They added a brand new tax on investment income that's much higher than ever before. That's $210 billion of new taxes that we just got an hour or two ago. And they're moving money in and out of this 10-year window so much to manipulate this score to try and make it look as though this thing comes in under $1 trillion and actually reduces the deficit. They don't count the doc fix. That's $371 billion right there.
All right, let's stop right there. Hold on now. What's the doc fix? Tell everybody.
Oh, I'm sorry about it. I get so inside baseball.
Yeah.
Medicare physicians are slated to get a 21% cut in their payments next month. And everyone is proposing to prevent that from happening. Congress for the last 7 years have prevented these Medicare cuts from occurring. It's the result of this funny formula they have. And so all of these bills originally said, we're going to prevent this Medicare cut from hitting the doctors, because we know about 25% of doctors will just drop taking Medicare patients if this cut occurs. And so they took this spending provision preventing the cut and just took it out of the bill, and they're running it as a separate piece of legislation. So they took $371 billion of spending and just took it out of this bill, and they're running it as separate legislation.
All right, let's stop right there. Now, you've just given us $900 billion that they're not counting.
Yes.
The Medicare, $500 billion and so cuts, and this doctor fix, as they call it, another about 300 and some. So that's almost $1 trillion right there.
$72 billion in Social Security taxes that they're counting twice. That's supposed to go to Social Security. It's just a rate on the Social Security Trust Fund. And then $50 billion in premiums for this new entitlement for long-term care insurance. These premiums, just like any premium for insurance, goes to insurance. They're taking the premiums away to pay for this new entitlement.
So they're taking money out of Social Security. They're taking money out of Medicare. These new premiums, they're taking that money, so those premiums are really going into general funds. Right. So we're at $1 trillion of Mad-Owl or a type of a fiscal fraud.
That's right. Now, the Congressional Budget Office, they can't tell you this because their statute that governs them is that they estimate whatever you put in front of them. And if you put in front of them garbage, you'll get garbage out. If you put in front of them a manipulated bill with all of these smoke and mirrors, they have no choice but to score the bill as you wrote it. And if you write it intentionally to disguise all of this, then you'll get a disguised cost estimate, and that's what we have here.
Now, you said they're preparing a letter for you, a letter about what?
Right, well, to re-clarify, as they did a month ago, that Social Security money is supposed to go to Social Security, that those premiums for this insurance program is supposed to go there, that the Medicare money is not going to Medicare and is in fact going to this new program, and it cannot be counted twice. And they're going to show us if the doctor fix bill was added to this legislation, which it should be because it's passing alongside it, what that would do to the bill as well.
Now, we keep saying the bill. Is this the reconciliation bill? What is this bill?
Well, it's the two combined. It's the Senate bill plus the reconciliation bill. And that is the way they're giving us a cost estimate. They're estimating how all of this taken together fits together and what it means. And that's what we're all talking about right now.
Now, there was also a vote on the floor today that the Democrats have decided that they will, in fact, use this slaughter rule, which basically means that you got a bundle of amendments that they call reconciliation, and they're going to vote on that, and they're going to pretend that they've amended an underlying bill, which is the Senate bill. Then they're going to send that phony underlying unvoted on, non-voted bill to the president, team it up with the Senate bill, so they pretend they have a bill, and the president will sign it. Is that about right?
Yeah, he will sign the Senate bill that was deemed, and then the Senate will take up the reconciliation bill separately.
And the Senate has said, even Conrad, a Democrat from North Dakota, he has said, look, this thing can't go through the way that the House sends it to us.
That's right. That's an amazing statement, to get something from Ken Conrad to say that, which tells these House Democrats who are being sold a bill of goods, who the Speaker is getting these votes based upon the promise that the Senate will pass this reconciliation bill. You've got the Democratic chairman of the Budget Committee, my counterpart over there from the Democratic side, saying it ain't so. So that's what we're trying to convince our colleagues. Look, they still don't have the votes for this. It's a fluid situation. They're still down, and they're basically being sold that we'll take care of your concerns in the Senate. And the senators, the Democrat senators, are telling us we can't count on that.
So hopefully they understand that, first of all, the voting for the slaughter rule, several of them have already hurt themselves severely. The American people understand the slaughter rule is a violation of the Constitution. And when they say it's just a process, the Constitution is not just a process.
That's right.
That's number one. And we're going to make clear that in federal court if this goes through. Number two, this goes to the president. He signs it. The question will be, again, as a matter of judicial review, if the court reviews it, whether or not this is going to, win the day. Then she's telling them, the Speaker, well, don't worry. If it gets through, we're going to have this reconciliation process to take care of some of your concerns. As if the Senate, first of all, is just going to roll over and do it.
Right.
And the 41 Republicans have already said with one voice, no, you don't. And the Democrat chairman of the Budget Committee says, I don't think I can do this.
Yep, that's right. You got to.
So what the hell's wrong with these people, Congressman?
Well, they're still short. As ugly as this process is, this bill is so much uglier. And some of these Democrats